wondering from Leinster's point of view to begin with, what are the entry points, if you like, into this game? What are the opportunities that Leinster will look to take, or the little gaps in Northampton that they'll look to exploit as they look to assert their dominance and maybe get near the summit of Everest even this weekend?
So it's a Stuart Lancaster's defensive system that he brought to Leinster. Well, I'm not sure it's not, and he hasn't trademarked it, but the one he brought to us anyway, 13-2. So you have two in the backfield, you have your nine in the line, and you have 13 across the front line with your wingers high. They have also like a two-man tackle policy. So from the point of view of familiarity, it's going to be good because Leinster will have trained against this for 8 years. You know the pros, you know the cons. It's very hard to carry against because it always seems like there's a full wall, but how you pick it apart is you take a team to the edge, so get to the touchline, you get back to, if you're to split the field into 100, you get back to about 40, so probably the inside post or maybe just a bit less than that. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to make the defensive teams, in Northampton in this instance, make a poor hold or fold decision around the ruck, and you're then either trying to take them down the blind side if they overfold, and if they underfold, then you're going the same way and you're trying to get them back on the other edge. That's going to be an area because the nine is in the line, the attacking kicks are on. So whether it be kind of little chips over the top off of first or second receiver, the little kind of diagonal grubbers in behind the high wingers, crossfield kicks, with exits, then the middle of the field is always on because the two guys in the backfield are usually in the 15s, so you might see kicks long and down the middle. So if we kick loosely to Northampton, which they showed against the Harlequins, they're going to punish you. So I could see them kicking long and on and having a good chase line rather than maybe been too contestable and having it kind of, if you don't get it, that you don't have as much time to build that chase line. That's the benefit of kicking long, is you've more time to organize on the run. I can't see them kicking it off too much because they're very detailed, Northampton, in their set plays. Have a few lovely breakout plays off six-man line out with kind of dummy mauls and maul setups. They've a 5+1 that they like to use with a forward at half back. Again, it's a tough one to defend because you've the 5 forwards plus 1 is 6, and then you've the hooker joining is 7, and then as a defensive line out, you have your 5 guys plus 1 as your receiver. So usually you'd stick 4 out of 5 in. You kind of have to leave the prop or whoever you have on the end out with the hooker kind of deciding if there's a short side threat or not, which means you're mauling kind of 6-7 guys against 4 or 5. Always good one to get you in. So again, they're clever about how they set these up, and they sometimes have Ludlam run into the back line to join that to make it 8, versus if the other team don't put enough numbers in. Their set plays are going to be definitely a threat for Leinster, but I feel like the familiarity with playing against the 13-2 will play into Leinster's favour.
Murray, I know you've been doing a lot of work in Northampton as well. And aside from the kind of eye-catching strike plays that we've seen against Munster, some of that transitional play we've seen against Quins, what are the elements of their game that stand out to you as being pertinent this Saturday?
Well, their strike plays are their superpower. They've completely feed off that. It gives them so much momentum in the game. And I think it's always, when you watch a team play over the course of a few games, you can really see what they're spending their time on. And it's very clear that Northampton spend a lot of their training time just running these plays over and over again to absolutely nail the detail, because they do that under the pressure of a game. Their lines are so perfect. The ball players have such an understanding of where the defense could be. They set plays up really well, and it's such a basic concept, but they'll often run one version of the play and then they'll run it again from a similar position, but they'll use a different variation on it. And it can be hard to override that first image of the play you've seen. And it's hard to kind of bite on the same guy who ran that hard line out the front instead of bouncing out the back if they go out the back this time. So they're really good at kind of teeing you up before they actually strike on the next version of the play. They generally score like 60% of their tries coming in the first 3 phases, which isn't uncommon, of course, but it's magnified with them. That doesn't mean that every single bit of it is laid out and completely prepped. Like they still have a complete license, as far as I can tell from Sam Vesti, to be instinctive. And in their halfbacks in particular, they have 2 guys who are excellent at that. Mitchell is a guy that Leinster will have to be unbelievably alert about, because he's really good at completely bouncing out of the shape and going back down the blind side if that's on, having that little scoot back against the grain when, as James says, a defender might overfold. He's really good at recognizing those opportunities. He's actually quite strong when he doesn't look at in comparison to some of the guys in the pitch, but he's quite strong when he gets into those covering tackles, trying to catch up. So he's one who can kind of go against the grain. And Finn Smith is brilliant at, similar to Crowley, as we discussed on Monday, actually, that really calm delay on his passes. He'll often allow the defender to kind of make the mistake and give him his option as he maybe takes a bit of pace off his own run, or else turns the corner and really darts at the line and gets the likes of Tommy Freeman or Slight Home running off him. So yeah, there's kind of there's the detailed planned part of it, but an instinctiveness to Northampton too. And they can be bullish and aggressive in the carry. No one's actually made more in contact meters in the Champions Cup, according to the Opta data, than Northampton. So they do have a directness. They tend to carry a lot through their backs. If you look at just the ball carrying numbers, a lot of it is their backs, but that can be direct too. Freeman's really powerful. James Ram when he plays, and the halfbacks carry a lot of ball as well. So it's quite a varied threat from them. They don't kick as often as some of the top kicking sides, but they're good when they do. Mitchell in particular has really grown that side of his game, and Smith has a really nice array of attacking kicks. So yeah, they're an excellent and balanced attacking side.